Hey, welcome to Men on Everything. It's our show where we talk about all kinds of stuff. This show actually started as Men on Scandal, and we do have some scandal news, but I do want to tell you that this show is brought to you by Fearless. The Mark Anthony collection is Fearless in Chesterfield Mall, Chesterfield, Missouri. Level up your look at Fearless and shop anytime at mark-anthony's-collections.com. Yeah,
who doesn't want to be fearless?
If you want to be fearless.
Everybody wants to be fearless.
Who doesn't want to be fearless? You know.
I want to be fearless, but I'm scared.
Well, if you're scared, say you're scared.
I'm scared.
So, Scandal Season 4 premiere has been announced for Thursday, September 25th at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central on ABC. So, it's official, a launch date of September 25th.
Yes, back to two-piece bikinis and midriffs now that the pregnancy's over.
Yes.
It's about time.
I was the big Scandal meetup that's going on in Los Angeles on the beginning of August. I've been in contact with Josie, who's putting it on, and she's been sending me some things that people are going to want to know and stuff like that, because I think Troy and I are going to do a panel. Mark started a new job in New York City and won't be able to attend, but hey.
Josie's hometown.
Yeah, Josie's hometown. Y'all should nosh.
We'll be noshing soon as I get that first check. My first check is like the income tax return check. Everybody, yeah, man, when that check come in, we're going to have lunch. Okay. Man, when that check come in, I'm going to pay that mortgage. Yes.
Isn't it funny, though, when you get that check, it's like,
yeah,
you get to exhale a little bit.
Yeah, because, it's the first 2 weeks you don't get it.
Yeah.
Then it's like a month, so it's a month. Damn, in New York.
Damn.
I'm dying here. I'm dying in New York.
Not for long.
Last night at the radio station, the guy wanted to treat me. You know how when you don't have no money, but you don't want the world. You don't want to come in with your hat in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah. So the little guy was one of the part of the other stations like, hey man, let me treat you to something. I'm like, oh no man, I'm good. And back of my mind, I'm like, yes, please. And I was like, no, man, I'm good. I went ahead and hit them peanuts at the snack.
Why didn't you let him treat you to something, man?
Yeah, man. You're supposed
peanuts
to do
and
that.
water at the snack machine.
Oh, man.
They were the best peanuts ever. It was like, I saw him in there order his he had his Chinese in there just
killing
it.
That could have been you, man.
You want some of this beef and broccoli? No, I'm good.
Yeah,
These peanuts are great. These sunflower seeds are good. I'm good.
Man, come on, man.
Yeah, you're tripping, dog.
Yeah, I should have went ahead and took it, man.
You should have took it, man.
Yes.
Because then when you got paid, you could have treated him, and that'd have been a friendship.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how you make friends.
That's how you make friends, man.
See how pride got in the way, man? Pride gets in the way.
And pride getting in the way of your stomach, you're going to be hurt.
That's right. You're going to have that six-pack, dog, by default. What you been doing, man? Working out? No, man, peanuts. I'm on a peanut diet.
I'm very weak. I feel weak.
I'm on the first check diet. So I wake up this morning, and I look at some headlines and stuff, and there's a picture of Bobby Christina hitting a bong. That I think it showed up on social media, and she's saying, I didn't post that picture, which misses the whole point. The point is, you're doing drugs. You're doing drugs.
Tony, we talked about this on the last episode. We talked about
but now there's this picture going around, and she's saying that, she says I haven't done any drugs recently.
But my point here is, I went in last show.
Yeah.
On Bobby Christina.
Yeah.
And I said that, I hated to say it, but this could be the telltale sign of things to come. I didn't expect to come back in a week if he's jumping off already.
Well, that's what you get. Nostradamus.
Oh my God.
Man. And the thing is that what can you do? She's in her 20s, and there's really, as an adult, Bobby can't do anything, and her family, Whitney's family, can't do anything, and I think her guy Nick, he's
her brother
guy.
Husband?
He's just draining. He's draining he's just getting what he can. She's not gonna see that though, because she loves him.
It's interesting. Like when we look at life, right? So I guess it is just lessons that we learned. Like, let us have the wealth that she has, right? And we would not only make our lives better, we make other lives better.
Yeah.
But then the people that have it, they're not there yet.
Right.
And the people who don't have it don't have the fun.
Man.
So it's interesting. This battle, this fight that we see every day played out, like you said. The writing was on. Well, Troy, first of all, Troy has been dogging this little girl since she was 7 with that bad hairstyle. So, Troy, you're wrong for that.
That wasn't her fault.
I've worked with Troy all these years.
You're right.
He's been on that hair. And
I said was, can we get Bobby or Whitney to comb the child's hair? That's all I asked.
That was
comb the girl's hair.
20 years ago and to this day,
yeah.
Troy is talking to her. But you're right. Sadly, her parents kind of have led her down this path.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you one of those ones, Troy, who signed that Blue Ivy petition to do something with Blue Ivy's hair, man? Were you the one who started that?
Now we got a natural look. It's cool now. I mean, a baby is one thing. A baby can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But a kid going to school, book bag, homework.
Can you
comb that hair?
Can you throw a rake up in there in the book bag?
Yeah, man, come on. Damn.
I don't know, man. Hey, Robin Thicke's album, Paula, has sold 56 copies in Australia. It hasn't moved many more here in the States. It is officially being called a dud. Now, I've only heard that one song, because I heard you play it, Mark, on your radio show.
Get it back to jam.
Yeah, it's not bad, but...
Well, we got to remember now, Robin just got his nigga wake-up call. He's white, but he got a nigga wake-up call, and that everything started happening when he got this huge success. But the reality is, he's a very good, solid R&B star.
Yes, he is.
He's not a crosser. So the UK, it's funny because UK likes R&B, and the UK likes Robin Thicke.
Right.
But I think the standards have changed because he has such huge success with Blurred Lines. The reality is he's an R&B singer, so you need to put him out of the the crossover success. Put him next to somebody he's closer to, like Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How many records did Joe sell in the UK in the first week? Probably same 500-600. So he's okay. He just came back home. He had his nigga wake up call. Welcome.
But you know what he wrote? If he wrote this album for Paula, then obviously he rushed through it. Okay, but even so, that aside, I posted some stuff on social media and got some responses from females, and females seem to think he just needs to leave her alone. He did say recently he hadn't talked to her in 4 months. Or he hadn't seen her in 4 months. Maybe he's talked to her, but he hadn't seen her in 4 months. But, he needs to understand, one, because you guys are both celebrities, it raises the profile. So you're very high profile. And everybody knows everything that you guys have been together since y'all were 14 years old and this and that. And you've kind of hinted on Howard Stern that you guys will just about do anything in the bedroom, including but not limited to bringing in a third party. I mean, you've hinted to these things. So you've put all your business out there. Now you've cheated on her publicly, which you've been doing for a while. But now she decided, you know what, I've caught you for the last time. And maybe that's the title of a song he should write. You caught me for the last time, because now she wants nothing to do with him, and I just think she needs to breathe. I think she needs, and that's what some of the comments from females on my Facebook were. You gotta give her space, man. You humiliated her on a level that most women can't relate to.
Yeah.
Right. So you made a fool out of her, and it went public, and now you're going public saying, "Yeah, I dogged you. I want you back." Well, now she's like, "Hold on, partner." Pump your brakes. I need a break. I need a timeout here.
This ain't coming back together.
You don't think it's coming back together?
No. Come on, man. For all the reasons that you mentioned, I think it just doesn't. He looks ridiculous, and I'm not even following the storyline of Robin Thicke as closely as you all are. But I mean, come on. The song is over the top. The PR that he's trying to build around it got. He did the social media thing. Ask Robin Thicke. That was a complete farce.
Man, that was painful.
People blew him away. I mean, it's just leave it alone. And now you say you haven't seen her in 4 months. She doesn't want to be seen.
Also, what's interesting about this modern day journalism, and I know Troy has a problem with it, but I thought of you, Troy, because I know they tried to tie it into Marvin Gaye's effort about, you know, his ex-wife, but Troy, the people got it wrong because his record really wasn't a love letter for love letter's sake for his ex. Isn't that correct, Troy?
Are you talking about Marvin Gaye?
Hear My Dear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hear My Dear. Yeah. That was
Troy's favorite album.
That was to settle up some alimony, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah. It was like he was trying. He got a $1 million judgment against him. In the divorce.
Yeah.
So the next album, he was like, well, you know,
Hear My Dear.
Hope you make $1 off of this.
Yeah.
But he, you know, because he's a genius, he went in like, man, I don't give a damn about this album. But then, you know, the masterpiece, you know, he started working on it. He was like, oh well, let me go ahead and put in work. And it's a classic.
Yeah.
And Robin Thicke's not a genius, so no. But it's a good, you know what? I think it's a great single. But like you said, I think if you took away all the BS and just played the record, it's fine. But everything else, I think, failed miserably. So.
Well, I mean, I'm holding out hope for him because, you know. But then again, if she does go back to him, if you don't change your ways, you know,
Tony, don't hold out hope, Tony. I mean, this ship has sailed.
Yeah, well,
he's got a better chance of getting back with you.
I think on the flip side, when people have been together this long, and you're both in Hollywood, to me, it's almost like, fine, you guys know each other, fine. I think I wouldn't be mad if they did get back together if she decided to come back, because at the end of the day, it's almost like, I think you've been together forever. You knew he was a dog this whole time. You just got excited, so you got embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a dog since he was in middle school.
Yeah. But I love him, and now she's like, give me my space. So,
man, 4 months. That's 4 months is not space.
No,
that's another state.
You have to put it in perspective of what, you know, the level of their relationship, the how high profile it is. Like I said, and she's been humiliated, and you know, it's one thing, you know, for some guy who works at UPS to cheat on his wife who works at a bank. But when you're on the level that they're on, where everybody knows your business, right?
Yeah.
It makes it a little different. So, all right. So our sponsor, Fearless, by the Mark Anthony Collection, is in Chesterfield Mall. That's in Chesterfield, Missouri. And if you want to level up your look, ladies, I was in the store this past weekend, and they've got some really nice stuff. Guys, if you're in the doghouse, if you're living the Robin Thicke life, this is where you want to go to try and make up some ground. I'm not going to say you're going to get out the doghouse, but you're going to impress her pretty good. They got some really nice stuff, as you can see, and check it out again. You can also shop online at mark-anthony's-collections.com.
Awesome.
All right, Ian. So,
all right.
I was also reading this morning about Alejandra Jackson. This would be Jermaine and Randy's ex-wife, and their 5 kids. I don't know if they're Jermaine's 5 kids or Jermaine and Randy's 5 kids, but apparently they're getting their own reality show.
Oh boy.
The baby mama?
The baby mama and the kids.
The baby mama and the kids, but we don't know if all the kids the kids all live together and they're brother cousins?
The brother cousins, yes. Brother cousins, man.
Brother cousins.
Yeah. So I don't that's supposed to be coming up on, I think, Reels on that TV network.
For
reals, man.
Now, you know what? That's not common.
No.
Is it? Like, you know, especially in the black community, there's a lot of things that go on, you know, where Pookie
more of a Utah kind of thing.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, we already familiar with the one where you find out that your auntie or your grandmother was really your mom or something like that. But the cousin brother fact, that's kind of weird.
Well, you know what? I to be honest, man, I think it happens more than we realize. But probably, you know.
Oh, it doesn't get exposed.
It doesn't get exposed.
So and so got a baby with 2 brothers, but people don't really realize that.
Right. It happens.
But how the old people always find you know Tony ain't her son.
I mean, that used to be 50% of Jerry Springer's show.
That is true. You're right. Never mind.
You know?
It's unspoken.
It's unspoken.
So now
yeah, that's the deal. It's unspoken. So, I saw where Derek Jeter's getting a lot of love, deservedly so. Derek Jeter is going to retire from baseball after this year. He's 40 years old, and he just wants to do other things. And he was during the All-Star game. They interviewed him in the dugout and stuff, and he was like, the biggest thing that I'm going to look forward to is not being on a schedule.
Yeah.
But I don't know, when you do something for 20 years, and I think we can all speak to this, the three of us, and then all of a sudden it's gone, it can throw you for a loop.
Yes, we're all thrown for loops.
You think?
Yeah, but Derek, it's amazing the how he's conducted himself over the course of his career, and there's nothing but love for him.
Yeah.
Yes, that was.
I think there are a few players, we've talked about LeBron a little bit and, healing his persona. Some people get it. I mean, and Derek Jeter is one of those people. Yeah, and it's funny, you think about some of the teammates he's had, like Alex Rodriguez, who is just as talented, could have been, on par with, I'm not saying he's not talent-wise, but could have had that same kind of career as Derek Jeter, one of those, iconic Major League Baseball players without any problems, without any. It's almost like they're night and day.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez has been out with 3,000 women. Derek Jeter kind of, family.
2,500.
2,500.
Under wraps.
Under wraps, though. He kept it out of the headlines.
On the low.
And because of he is so loved and revered that I would imagine that he probably got some help keeping stuff out of the headlines from people. They just said, hey,
they're like, Well, this last move, I understand, is going to put him over the top and earn him the Essence Community Service Award / You Go Ahead Player Award. Derek Jeter, after his retirement, is going to marry Lupita Nyong'o.
Is that what it is?
And shut up all the rumors that he only dates light-skinned sisters. And that will put him officially over the top and in the Hall of Fame. This is my wife.
Man.
These are our brown kids.
Hey, let's talk about LeBron for a second. He got a 2-year, $42 million deal. But only 2 years? $21 million a year for 2 years. And is he going to bounce again, man, after 2 years?
No. He's going to sign a long-term. That actually is a business move to align with the new NBA contract. So he's going to get in on the new the broadcast contract kicks in 2 years. So the players will be able to get a bigger chunk out of that money. So yeah, that's why he's going to resign.
And they're going to actually give him Cleveland.
Is that what?
That's possible.
You know what? I posted this on Facebook. I think LeBron James, with his move back to Cleveland and just being who he is and how he's moved so far, I think this move has done more from a standpoint of a sports or a star, leading a community type, not only a conversation, but just LeBron James movements have really raised the level of possibility, of expectation, of influence, I think, of any athlete in his generation. Unlike a Michael Jordan who never had a comment about anything and who just protected his brand. I mean, LeBron James has hired his boys as his management, which is amazing. People don't talk about that. Mm-hmm. He has, contributed and commented on different issues involved with the NBA in regard, issues and taking a stance. And now go back to Cleveland? Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I think it really is. He should really be commended because I think you don't really see. Anybody else has done this. I don't think anyone. And he's going to change Cleveland's culture.
Right.
I think for a positive way.
So, do you think him leaving Miami though has this benefited Miami in any way? And I ask this question because when Albert Pujols left the Cardinals, it freed up money for the Cardinals to do other things. And they've been contenders every year since Albert's been gone. So is this the same possibility for Miami that this is going to free up the money for them maybe to get some more players, more good players? They're not going to get LeBron, but I mean,
it's going to free up some time. Yeah, y'all can love the Dolphins again. Y'all can get some sun.
They're $9 million. people barely were paying attention to basketball. Only, Miami is a weird sports town. If there people are on board if there's some winning going on, but as soon as there's not, it's like, you know what? South Beach is right down the street. I don't need to fool with them. So I don't think you're not going to see a contender all of a sudden.
You're going to see Alonzo Mourning's charity expand again in Miami. As we remember the good old days.
But I mean, they gave Chris Bosh $120-something million. Is he worth $120-something million?
Man, that's the highest paid dinosaur in the world. Highest paid raptor ever.
Could they have given him that money if they could have kept LeBron?
No, that wouldn't have happened. I mean, they all opted out. I think Miami was like, they believe that Chris Bosh is an important piece of the team. Yeah. And I think they feel like, I don't know, they can build around him to some degree. Dwayne Wade just re-signed.
That was a charity check. That was a charity check right there. But he lost
$11 million on that deal.
Yeah. So I commend Miami for that, though. In this world where these companies don't give a heck about you, I like the fact that they said that, hey, Dwayne, hey, you let LeBron come here, you let him do what he does, and we're going to commend you for it. That's rare these days because those knees, I understand he needed help carrying the check out the room because his knees was hurting. Can somebody help me with this?
So since we're talking about basketball, San Antonio Spurs, I know the coach re-signed, but are they going to be back, man, or was that their last hurrah? Because you're talking about getting long in the tooth. They are kind of old.
They'll be back.
They winning though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I mean, what? The Lakers were winning, but then they got old like really fast.
Yeah. Well,
but they have a nice, they got Kawhi Leonard. They got some young players that can supplement what the old heads, the big three for their team. Yeah. And Tim Duncan can make a run in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Well, they're still going to be a good team.
The party people got mad because they celebrated by pouring prune juice over each other. So it was kind of weird.
That kind of
no champagne
and prune juice. What about an Ensure?
Not Ensure, no.
I like Ensure.
Hey, I was reading yesterday that Pam Oliver is being shown the door after this coming season. Aaron Andrews is going to
and the mirror apparently. No, that's all right.
Man. That's wrong, man.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
Aaron Andrews is going to replace her on the sidelines as the number one sideline reporter with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the NFL on Fox. Some people are saying that she's being replaced because she's too old. And then, of course, there's the subject of race also comes up. Here's Aaron Andrews. She's the hot-looking, brunette.
I don't think that there's a good reason. I don't think they presented a good reason for replacing her. They just were like, hey, we can do what we do. we can make a change. But Pam Oliver has been on the sidelines for 19 years for Fox.
Yeah,
damn.
I mean, that's a long time. It's a long time. Now, about 10 of those years, she didn't comb her hair.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
Oh man,
it could have had something to do with it.
Y'all are brutal.
But aside from that, I don't want to get tangled up in that argument. But aside from that, she really is great on the sidelines, and I mean it doesn't really seem like, as we all know, the three of us have experienced, when you get shown the door, they're not giving you the gold watch. They're not gonna celebrate how great you were. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she's a businesswoman. She's a class act. She knew that they extended her for another year. She told, I read a little story about her saying that she talked to the president of Fox came to her to deliver the news.
Yeah, they flew to Atlanta to see her, to talk to her.
Yeah, and she was like, gee, thanks, but you didn't have to do all that for real.
Yeah.
But she said, they extended another year. She said she had more in the tank, and
So will she go to CBS or the NFL Network, or?
What's funny about the story is it doesn't seem like the story didn't really, and the stories have not said what's next for her.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's over after this season.
Well, she's not even getting moved to the number 2 or number 3 team. She's not going to do sideline reporting for Fox anymore after this coming season. It's like, okay, you're going to do this year, and then we'll see. We'll see what we'll do.
I thought the contract was up. Oh, so she'll still be retained?
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, they got Fox Sports 1 now, so there's probably plenty to do. But you just can't just remove her from the number 1 team and just all of a sudden have her covering, kickball tournaments. You can't.
Well, and that's funny when you say you can't. I think we've all learned that yes, you can.
You can't. Si se puede.
Yes. And actually, they said they're going to put on a show with Irv Cross and Jimmy the Greek.
Irv Cross. Damn.
She's waiting for the contract.
Are they even alive anymore, man? I mean,
Irv Cross.
I know Jimmy the Greek has gone to glory.
Yeah, Irv Cross has been kept alive by his very strong hair. Irv had the toughest. It was Irv Cross was number 1, and then Bill Russell was number 2 as far as hair kink. The hair kink rating. Those beads kept Irv alive for years.
Damn. BDE.
Right. BBD.
No. All right. Again, thanks to Fearless.
I have those same kinks on my chest.
Is that what it is? Because
right here, you can see them right through his shirt. You can just see them right there.
Man, Fearless is our sponsor by the Mark Anthony Collection in Chesterfield Mall, Chesterfield, Missouri. Level up your look, ladies, at Fearless. You can shop anytime online from wherever you are at mark-anthony's-collections.com. So what do you have, man? Y'all got anything?
I thought did you see the video of the residents of Chicago mad at Barack?
No.
They're basically calling him the worst president. They said when he was a politician in Chicago, he didn't do nothing then. He didn't do nothing now. Ron Emanuel's doing nothing. They really are going in on Barack. It's on my Facebook page if you want to check that out. I think it's interesting. I was like, the Chicago piece. Again, Barack is not the president of Chicago, but two things about the story that kind of bother me, and I think it's interesting how people are so reactionary. People who are going through pain and struggle will bring, one of the angles was, why is he helping this border situation, but he's not helping us here in Chicago? You know what I mean? And it's interesting. I always feel like when you do that, when you take away from another cause to point to your cause and say, don't help them, help us, it feels like karmically you're messing your thing up.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can have a beef with the president. I think he should help us in Chicago. But when you start to take away from someone else's struggle or their pain to say, help us, I think it never looks good and it's never positive,
right. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
And then, but to Chicago, the apathy for us, for anybody watching the Chicago thing, I am amazed by it. The deaths are crazy, and it does feel like people are a bit apathetic across the country. Like people are like, oh, well, I don't really hear a lot of people saying what's going on. How do we stop this? How do we end this? It just feels like there's a lot of apathy.
Well, but you got to let it. I think it goes back to the same equation as, crack cocaine was never a problem until it got to the suburbs.
Right.
So when folks start getting murdered, 10 at a time over a weekend in suburban Chicago, out where, that kind of crime just doesn't happen on that level, then, when it starts happening, in Kirkwood, Missouri, outside of St. Louis, when it starts happening, in Missouri City, Texas, outside of Houston, these little suburbs outside where you don't expect crime like that to be that way, then that's when it becomes a problem.
But here's the part. This is a Troy Johnsonism. Okay, so, and why is that? Because if it happened in those places, those people would be outraged. Mm-hmm. Black people are not outraged. So is that the media's problem? If the black people were if we were outraged as a community when this happens anywhere, then the media would then follow, but we're not outraged.
Well, but then you have to put yourself in those neighborhoods. You have to put yourself. If you say something could happen to you. Is that an excuse? No, it's not an excuse, but it is a reason.
But not the people in the neighborhoods. I'm talking about the people who are outside the neighborhoods. Don't we have a responsibility? Don't we, those who necessarily are privileged to not necessarily live in that crime area, why aren't we commenting on it? Why aren't these black shows from Roland Martin to all these shows, and there's not a whole bunch of them, is this the lead story? Are we getting to the bottom of it on Facebook? It's very interesting. People are just very apathetic. I think the middle class, African American and Hispanic people of color are very disconnected to what's going on for their cousins in these areas.
Well, I think part of the reason, though, is because, and I'm not going to say it's the media, I would say it's the broadcast networks. They would rather feed you the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop and things like that. They would rather feed you things like that than give you more shows, as in Roland Martin, things like that would actually have some substance. Because they think nobody's going to watch, therefore it's all about the money. And if nobody's watching, we got to give them something that's going to get ratings so we can generate some income. And it's kind of like that thing, that cycle that, if it bleeds, it leads.
Is that the network's? That's our fault, though, man. That's not the network's only feeding it to us because that's what we want to eat.
But we're only going to eat that because that's the only thing they'll give us. You see the cycle? You see how it goes back?
I don't blame the networks. I blame us. And I think we have to be. We're complicit in this that happens in all the major cities, these kids dying, and the fact that we're not stepping up. And like you said, Tony, we choose to watch The Housewives, which Troy's been saying this forever. Mm-hmm. We choose to, that's the beef I have. I have a beef that we choose to not know what's going on in Chicago, but we want to know if Mimi Faust, why did she walk off the set? And I do still try to figure that out. Why she walk Why did Angie Stone walk off the set of R&B Divas? Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah.
No. I've been saying this for 20 years.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, man. You got your serious editorial steez going, man, and then yeah.
Troy's tired. He's tired.
No, y'all are going back and forth, so it's like a tennis match. I think that, both arguments are valid. I mean, there are problems with what the networks show on television. There's definitely apathy in our community, in our society in general. And, the person that figures out how to reach people for real, how to really connect with people and get them to a point where they're concerned about the things that are happening, not just in Chicago, not just in metropolitan cities where kids are getting shot up, not just on the border, but what's happening around the world. We just, America is interesting because we've just decided that we're going to check out of certain things. Soccer, for example, we don't give a damn, although that's changing a little bit. When you watch the BBC, for example, every day they cover a story about what's going on in Africa. But we don't see that on our newscasts.
Right.
Never, why? Why not? I mean, it's just as important. If you're concerned about where those girls are and what Boko Haram is doing, those kinds of stories happen on that continent every day. And we're not concerned or we're not, paying attention. So we all need to go back to school. It's kind of like, I don't know what the moment is going to take for us to all really interconnect and understand that what happens in Chicago is just as important as what happens in Africa. What happens in someplace in Europe is just as important as what happens in China. We all live on the same planet.
Right. Good.
And, and when it's time to get off of this planet, we see all these missions to Mars and we're trying to find someplace else because this planet is not sustainable forever. So when we go to another planet, we're all going to be going together or not.
Or not. Well, I think it's almost like we need a reset button.
Yeah.
And we need to reset. Everybody needs to reset their perspective and their priorities and what's important to them. When people, I find it sad. And when I used to work on The Beat, a hip hop station that was on in St. Louis for many years, and I did the morning show, and if I brought up something local that needed to be addressed, hardly anybody would call. But if I asked who would you want the other two to be if you were to have a threesome, the phones would crash because they would call, and it was sad.
Well, you know what? That's one thing I will say. Shout out to Baltimore. Baltimore has that reputation, but they did hit the lines when we talked about serious issues. So I respect. I will say that that was very real, and I did it. And so,
But you know what? It comes from and Mark and I, when we were doing mornings in Baltimore, went through that transition where, when we started the show, you had three people who understood, and we didn't. It's not like we had a discussion about it. People who were open to knowing that you're broadcasting to people, you're providing information to people, you're waking them up, you're entertaining them, and you can do all of those things. You don't have to eliminate anything. If you can make people laugh, you can also inform people. Mm-hmm. And we did it seamlessly. But there's a culture shift, and we were right in the middle of it where
That's true.
The powers that be are like, you know what? Enough of this community stuff, enough of the news. We don't need it. We just want you to talk about Flavor Flav and his reality TV show.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
But why?
They determine. You're right, because I understand. I was talking to somebody. They said Mary Catherine Sneed, a former leader, Radio 1, actually told them that verbatim. They want news. They go to a news station. They just want entertainment. Thanks.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. And the race of this woman was what?
Yeah. She's in charge of all the black people. She's white. Thank you.
I don't know, man. What else you got, Troy?
This is a good one. This goes right into what we're talking about. A man traveling in Florida. He's at Orlando International Airport trying to get on a plane. He goes through TSA. We've all done it. And he presents his District of Columbia driver's license. And the TSA agent says, "What is this?" This is not a legal form of I need to see a passport. Hey, idiot. The District of Columbia is in the United States. The person did not know that the District of Columbia was in the United States.
Man.
So a supervisor had to come over and say, "Oh, yes, it's fine." What? What the hell's going on, man?
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's the world we live in.
I will say
honest, this has happened before. Actually, it's happened on a couple of occasions.
I think there is definitely, when my father-in-law in the hospital experience, I noticed, like you guys said, a culture change where some people, it's almost like when we were coming up, we're that generation that if your ass is in a hospital or working in a hospital, you probably were really pretty competent because of the years of study you had to go through to be there. I think in this kind of fast forward, get a certificate world, there are people who are in the hospital who have very limited information. They may know how to draw blood, but they may not know all that goes with everything else.
Right.
And that was very troubling to me because that's very frightening.
Well, you know what? Society in America, in a lot of cases, whether we knew it or not, we were taught to be specialists. You go down a career track. You are. This is the job that you do. You learn everything that you can about it, and that's what you do. We like us. We're broadcasters. We know what our lane is. Yeah. And for those that haven't expanded beyond that and figured out, well, because of the experiences I have, I can kind of move into this area or move into that area. You have people who only know how to draw blood, and that's it. It's like this. I do this one thing. I pick things up, I put them down.
Well, and speaking of, because in fact, that happened when the guys who were in charge of transport, when they picked my dad up and moved him, and it was raggedy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, these must be the CD students who took this class.
You think?
My ass could have done a better job than that. They threw Dad on the bed like it was a damn marshmallow. It was like, what the hell? Are these people supposed to be here? Can I have the real people who do this? But and I guess that's the world we live in. People, like you said, hey, I'm working I'm doing this TSA thing, but I really never really passed my world studies, so I don't know the District of Columbia is not in Columbia.
Right.
Hey, I worked with somebody one time who asked me where are Puerto Ricans from. And we'll leave that right there. So,
well, Tony,
man.
Everybody knows Puerto Ricans from New York. Everybody knows that. I'm not a dummy.
Well, so that's our show. That's Men On, man. Men On Everything. We cover lots of different topics. We appreciate you watching. If you could subscribe to the channel, that helps. Giving it a thumbs up, sharing it, reposting it. You can sign up for my newsletter, too, at talking360.com. It's free. We won't share your email with anybody. I want to thank our sponsor again, Fearless, by the Mark Anthony Collection in Chesterfield Mall in Chesterfield, Missouri, right outside of St. Louis. You can level up your look, ladies, at Fearless and shop anytime, anywhere in the world. There's even a Mark Anthony app, so you can check that out, too. Mark-Anthony's-Collections.com. Many thanks to them for sponsoring our videos. A lot of great pieces, whether you're looking for a handbag or a blouse or jumpsuit, accessories, whatever you want. It's all there. Check it out at mark-anthony's-collections.com. Fearless inside Chesterfield Mall. So thanks so much for watching. I'm Tony Scott. That is Mark Clark. That is Troy Johnson. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Men on Everything.